Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Taiji, where I was looking around at these puzzles. I did a little bit of just like running around the area to see if maybe there was a tutorial puzzle that I missed or something. And when I was running past this, I realized something. I realized that there's something quite obvious that I didn't try, and I want to try it on camera so that we can all be ashamed of me together if it turns out to be right. Listen, the way this puzzle is designed, the way the the white and the black are mirrored, I had in my head that there was going to be a thing about reflection, but let's just see something real quick here. Does it want me to just fill in the bit where this wall is broken? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Okay, and so that is going to lower the bollards, so there are going to be more puzzles here. All right, so then what we do here is just continue the pattern. Problematic, though, because that would have us filling in both of those, right? Unless we're continuing... Well, we're not continuing this pattern as a whole, because obviously that's incongruous with... Well, it could be this, right? So we assume that there would only be one tile left. Yeah, it's probably filling in this pattern. Draw where the walls should be. Okay. All right. This isn't even really a new mechanic. This is just drawing. This is just using the walking around drawing stuff mechanics. So if we assume that this is going to work the same way as the area that it's reflected across, I'm going to have to draw in this part too. So, okay, we would expect there to be, like, we would wrap around here and then create this wall like that. Yep, that's all it was. That's all it was the whole time. I was trying to, I don't know. Like, even if it was a matter of, like, continuing the path as it would appear over here, because I had in my head that it was a matter of reflecting what's supposed to be appearing on the other side. I don't know how I was going to apply that necessarily anywhere else in the puzzle. Not great. Not great work on my part. Okay, so we're filling in the white part of the puzzle, right? Because otherwise this doesn't make any sense, since it obviously starts where the path is. So this part should be wall. We don't want to walk in that row. Yup, that's all it was. Okay, so can we do that over here? Just fill in the parts where it's supposed to be white. Well, the thing is, that is what I tried to do over here, right? You know, this might have something to do with it, because, like, this is where I tried to do that and it didn't work. It may be an issue of me not having positioned things correctly, though. Let me see something here. What if it's like we try to make a long, narrow, single tile wide path? Okay. That was a pretty, like... That was a pretty broad guess just based on the shapes of the path in the other area. Okay, so I definitely was not trying to produce that over here. So the equivalent would be... So just it needs to be a single tile wide and spiral around as much as possible. So this here... What is this doing? This is this part. So it wants to wrap around like that. Which means like I would do this, right? And then this is a separate path, unfortunately. Actually, I shouldn't have filled in that one. Yeah, and you would imagine the other path going here. The problem is that in order to draw this, like there's a break necessarily, right? These are not the same line. So how do I deal with that? Okay. So if I imagine that line in my head, it goes, I guess we don't have to imagine it. We can draw it with the mark feature, right? Not you. Right, that's the equivalent to this line. The problem is, yeah, like there's no way to draw this shape as a single shape because it is necessarily two disconnected lines. Unless I'm allowed to walk, yeah, I'm not. Well, so what am I supposed to do with this one then? Yeah, I'm not really sure how to approach this. Should go to here. If I actually draw these, it doesn't unhighlight the tiles, does it? No, okay. So I'm just trying to make sure I've done this part correctly. And we've actually tried to enter it as a solution? Okay. So since that's not possible, what could they be asking? Or sorry, what am I doing? We're on the other side. The light part is the path. Can you tell it's been a real week for me? I'm fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Now everything's fine. It was still valuable to mark all those tiles at least. Okay, that's another fire. So I believe that should be everything except the big mansion full of combined puzzles lit up around the center circle. Yeah, let's go back to the mansion. I do think it's interesting that as far as I can tell, we have done nothing to we've done nothing to explain any of the stuff that we've seen below the mountain. So like there's still something that is deeply different from what we're seeing here. Okay. So it's a yellow horizontal line here, a yellow horizontal line here, a yellow diamond there, a white diamond here, and then white horizontal, white horizontal, white horizontal. Or, so, you know, obviously the diagonal version, the white diagonal. But yes, we got to make some shapes. This thing needs to be paired with one of the yellow lines, and it's probably going to have to be like this, right? No, wait, that's actually a problem. If it's going to be... It has to be connected in a way that doesn't make the two shapes touch. And then, you know, I'm making an assumption here that the other lines don't have meaning for the puzzle, because if they did, I don't understand how we would possibly, like, what... That would be devastating. if this is a series of white horizontal lines that are to be interpreted as the puzzle symbol, that makes the puzzle, like, obviously impossible, right? So... thing is, if this is going to merge up with one of the yellow horizontal lines, it has to be this one, because if it was this one, that would mean the shape that contains this thing would have to move left, which it cannot do. But we can't use this tile or this tile in making that connection. Because if we do, we merge the two shapes together. Either directly through here or this thing connecting to there. And there's not another yellow shape that we're treating as though it is meaningful. Maybe that's wrong though. Maybe I'm supposed to be interpreting this as like a single... I mean, I guess the thing that's worth noting is that these white lines are between the spaces on the grid. So yeah, it feels like they're definitely not part of the puzzle. But I'm not really sure how to do this. Because like we could easily enough just, you know, if we didn't have to link that with something, it'd be easy enough to just make them like, I don't know, a whatever shape. This one isn't too bad because we can just have these be rotated. And that gives us a pairing for the white diamond. But... and, you know, we can even make that a square such that it makes... it is definitely not conflicting with this thing. Although, actually, there's a possibility, I suppose, that it's going to cause some problems with the shape of the... yeah, let's hold off on trying to figure these out because of the position of this one relative to the second yellow line. And these ones are not connectable because they're not because they are not rotated. If these two shapes touch, we create a situation where the shape would need to be extended infinitely in both directions, right? So how do we... I'm wondering if there's an element of this that I'm not understanding, because as it is right now, it does seem impossible. Right, because isn't it the case that any shape that includes this and this is necessarily going to make direct... yes, it is the case, but that doesn't necessarily matter, because like, what if this is just a dark shape, right? What if we just draw around it? So let's say we take this as a square. We have to fill in the spaces around it, which means we're starting to give this thing shape. But that's fine, potentially. It's not great necessarily. So if we do like this... that's a legal that's a legal rotation of that, right? And then you just need to be the other arrangement, the 180, like that. Yeah, and I think that's legal. It is indeed. Okay. You can tell today is very much a day for missing sort of simple things for me. That's a challenge for sure. Okay, in this one, we're seeing symbols here and here and here. Not there, but here. And then there's whatever the hell is supposed to be going on with this owl's eyes, which I still don't really know how to interpret. All right, well, let's say we keep this dark. So all the shapes around it have to be lit. That means this is lit, which means all the shapes around it have to be lit as well. That means this is dark and all the shapes around it have to be lit. This one needs exactly one square adjacent to it to be the same level of litness it is, and so right now it could actually be either. If we make these all lit, then the middle space satisfies both of the singles. But yeah, this doesn't account for whatever the hell's going on with this owl's face. Also it didn't account for that. But yeah, now we're matching everything except the owl's eyes. I don't really know what to make of them. So the puzzle as a whole is 18 spaces in size. If this is to be read as 2 8s, right? If we read it as like squished together pips. I mean, but the pips have clear separation. It's not that. What does it mean that it's just two big circles? Is this supposed to be a representation of the negation symbol? It can't be though, right? Because it doesn't exactly look like that either. The negation symbol. Yeah, this doesn't look like anything, is the problem. That's not one of the things we've been shown as far as I remember. Then we have this situation, which is like very weird. All right, if the threes have no meaning, let's assume for the moment, the threes have no meaning. They're just red symbols. We could go like, right, this, then this is a pair already. Okay. I was thinking like this connects the top red diamond to that 3, the middle red diamond to that 3, and the bottom red diamond to that 3 while leaving this off in its own area. And they're all sequestered from one another. No space contains more than 2 red symbols. If the 3 is intended to be a... if it's supposed to be read like 3 pips... If it's supposed to be read like 3 pips, then these two have to be... they have to be the same shape, right? Because this thing couldn't reach out to a number. Not just one number anyway. And then that would mean that we need to be able to draw a 6 here to contain these, which is that. So that's 2 reds. That's 2 reds. This is a 3 space. This is a 3 space. This is a 6 space. Okay, so it did want us to interpret the 3s as... I would argue that this is kind of like outside this. This is not what the puzzle symbols are, right? Which is a little frustrating. The fact that we now know that it's sometimes going to treat things with a looseness and just expect us to make the leap makes it even harder to feel like I'm going to ever know what that is without a little bit of help. Okay, we finished, we did the top 2 levels. The top 2 levels are clear, right? So we have one puzzle left on this level, and then there is the bottom level, which is this like wine area over here that I don't know what to do with. Let's take another look at it. This is extremely conspicuous, but for the moment, don't know what to do with it. Yep, still don't know what to make of that either. I mean, it doesn't seem to be anything. And is the floor pattern supposed to just be this? Like, given the position we'd have to start it in, it cannot be this, because the corners of this shape have to be the place where you stop. And this shape's not walkable anyway, right? Because if you were to start in this corner, you go here, here, and then you have to cut right. Otherwise, this tile will not be reachable anymore. You're going to end up leaving something behind. Yeah, this shape is not walkable. So no, it's definitely not a matter of transposing this onto the floor. Then what am I doing with the floor? So we know because of the window puzzle, the window thing here, that these puzzles may require the transposition of elements that are not visible from the screen the puzzle itself appears on. And I really wish they hadn't done that, because that means, like, whatever this is supposed to be, it could be fucking anywhere, right? What is it? It's 6 by 2? Yeah, 6 by 2. 6 by 2. Yeah, I mean, nothing here maps to a 6 by 2 space, right? No, I don't think so. Yeah, the rows of these things, if we were to like tip these 45 degrees and treat them as horizontal and vertical lines, sadly they are only 5 across. Like this thing is here and it's so conspicuous. What's the dimensions of the floor area? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 tall, and then presumably this is 2 different puzzles, or it could be a puzzle where we just have to draw 2 lines, I guess. I mean, it could be these shapes, I suppose. Maybe. All right, what if I tried to walk that? So it'd be like, I guess you'd go here because you need to leave room for a dark and then a light. This would go all the way down to the floor. And again, it's that thing where we just want to leave single tile wide pathways, right? Okay, it does look like the spiral is probably what this is. So we are just looking for like objects in the somewhat nearby environment that could be the right dimensions for the thing. Yeah. Shit, that means I do in fact need to find a 6 by 2 somewhere. What is 6 by 2? What is 6 by 2? I mean, these beer barrels haven't been anything yet. They're probably wine barrels. These barrels haven't been anything yet. But I don't see a way to map this to a 6 by 2 area. I mean, at the very least, it's all stuff that we can see from inside of this part of the building so far. So it does make me a little leery of running outside. Also, we know there's just not very much going on out there. It's probably not patterns in the brickwork. Don't think it's patterns in the brickwork here either. Looks like things just kind of repeat across. Well, no, interestingly, things don't just repeat across, right? Like, there are different patterns in the different rows, but also there are places like this where the patterns are broken up in the same row. Like, part of this row is this thing where the line comes up and just covers the bottom half of the brick, but part of this row, it's like, it's little dashed lines. This is, oh, it feels like this is something, which I hate. I don't know what to make of it. Yeah, it looks like it's something, but it does not look like something that I can like read a 6 by 2 pattern out of. But all of a sudden, this is the only puzzle left on this floor, and that makes me like, makes you really want to figure it out. What about the patterns down here? I mean, this is a 6 by 2. No? Okay. Because it is weird that some of the floor tiles are light and the others are dark. This really sucks, though, because, like, how am I supposed to know? Right next to the puzzle, there is a thing that is 6 by 2 and has a couple of lit spaces and some other unlit spaces, and, like, this is a totally valuable or a totally viable thing. It is the right shape and the right kind of thing, but it doesn't work. It feels to me like a real problem to have multiple things in the area that seem like they could be the solution. Is there anything that's like more clearly what we're looking for? I'm looking around at like the slats that the barrels are made up of for like discoloration, or really kind of grasping at straws here. This is the most conspicuous thing that hasn't been a part of any puzzle yet so far. But yeah, I just don't really see a way of mapping the values here to anything. It really feels like this should be something. What else is around here that hasn't been a part of a puzzle solution? I mean, there's the extremely conspicuous floor tiles. There's a bunch of lighting fixtures, but those seem pretty uniform. Yeah, if you're gonna do something like this, like these just find a weird thing in the environment puzzles, I feel like it really behooves you to be super, super careful to make sure that there are not red herrings. So at this point, it's just this and the owl between us and the final torch, right? Which is a shame, because so far my solution to I don't know what I'm doing has been to run somewhere else, find something else to do for a while, come back and like attack it with fresh eyes. I'm looking at like the patterns of the bricks now, trying to find like absolutely anything. Yeah, bummer. Okay. This damned owl. Alright, let's say that these are the negation symbol. They're not, but they're not any more not the negation symbol than these are not 3 dice pips, right? So, if that's the case, then what if we like... It's got to be negating things that are in the same area that it is in. So how would we shape that? Let's say we leave this dark. Well, no, let's light this up. So we have to leave these 2 dark. And if we do that, then this has to be lit and that has to be lit. Oh, no, sorry. The 2 things nearby have to be dark. So that has to be dark and that has to be dark. If we include this tile here, but don't satisfy it, we could say that eats one of the negations. And then we could do the same thing over here just to make our lives really easy. Eat that thing, and there's a negation. And then we can still go like this down here. That's lit. It grabs all the tiles around it, and then each of these has 1 lit tile adjacent. No. Okay, so they're not negations. Right, because that would work for negations. It would have negated this thing and that thing. I guess, do they have to negate things that are their own color? I don't remember if that's a thing, but it could be, right? So, okay, let's say that it is. What if we light this up, so this is no longer negated. Now it needs to negate that and that, which it can do. This thing is satisfied, though. Is that going to be problematic? I can't... Ooh. Problematically... I cannot unsatisfy it. Okay, what about this? What if we make this dark? We satisfy that. We loop you in here. So if this space is light, this needs to not be light. And then we just grab that too, rope it in with the... But now this one is satisfied. Actually, so's this one. Yeah. If those are to be read as negations, they're actually tricky. So those would have to stay dark. Okay. Make this lit, which means that has to stay dark. That's fine. We make... this has to stay dark as well. Make this lit. I'm going to try to cancel some stuff down here, I guess. Make sure that's not satisfied and treat it as broken. But we'll light this, and it's satisfied because that tile's lit. Okay, so now what looks like a double negation symbol is locked in an area with two shapes that it is actually negating that are the same-ish color that it is. No, okay, that's not what's going on. I mean, that's kind of a good thing because those are not like... those aren't quite the negation symbol, right? The negation symbol looks like it's just drawn around the outsides of this, right? Like it had open corners. Let me go to a place where we can actually find one of those, just to put my diseased mind at ease. So we only saw them, I think, in the pips area proper, right? Trying to remember, is that even true? No, I don't think it is. Where? Now I'm like, oh god, did I make up a symbol? Was that all in my head? Where the heck were those? Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's not actually like a square with its center missing. It's lines around the outside of a shape and the corners aren't connected. Yeah, okay. I mean, good. It's nice that I remembered what they look like. It does complicate things here, though, because it means they're definitely not the things in the owl's eyes. But the problem is we can't be sure that they're not supposed to be what that symbol is because of the fact that we know, since we've seen the threes, we know that the thing is just not going to be faithful to the symbology all the time. It's just sometimes it's going to decide things are different than their canonical representation. That does make this challenging. Okay, hold on. Is there anything else? Is there something else I'm not remembering? We have the petals. They could be zeros. What would it mean for them to be zeros? Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't remember the zeros because it's been such a long time since we did that area. But that would just mean don't light up that square, right? That's all the ones and zeros area was. One was toggle the square, 0 was don't. So 2 zeros would be don't toggle the square twice. I mean, I guess we can try to take it that way. Just read it as leave this square dark. Worth a shot, I suppose. Because the zeros in the 1, 0 area were perfectly square zeros, weren't they? Okay, so if we're leaving this square dark, then we want this to be dark. Those two remain dark, which means this is lit. Yeah. If these two are dark, this is also lit, which means that's dark. This is supposed to be two things in the same square, not one of them in the third and one of them in the second, right? Because this is not in the third row, and this like very much is. But you know what? We can try to leave this one dark too, just in case. Okay, so this needs one tile adjacent to it that is the same. And then, so if we make this dark, then do that. We just have to fill in the light spaces around them. And okay, that's what it was. Those are supposed to be 2 zeros that are crammed into that square. I probably would have had an easier time reading it that way if we hadn't done the 0 puzzle first, such that I forgot the 1s and 0s even existed in the game at this point. Also, if I wasn't doing this in a Let's Play format and I was like bolting it all in 2 days, things would have been a little fresher. So that leaves us with this. At this point, honestly, I do almost wonder if it might be easier to just like brute force this off camera and then try to figure out what it was representing afterward once I know what the shape is. Because gosh, I'm feeling mighty stuck on this one and there's no logic to it. It's just like a look at the environment until you see a 6x2 something. So I guess we're going to leave that for right now and we're just going to go try the things through the gate. Now that I know what all the symbols mean, I feel a lot more confident doing so. There are definitely still some puzzles in the environment that we have not solved. And maybe I should run around and do those. I don't know. It's like any shape that's large enough to hold some diamonds should hold some diamonds, right? I do like this. I do like these backwards puzzles. These are really cute. So yeah, once again, any shape that's large enough to hold some diamonds. There was even one there that wasn't large enough to hold the diamonds. Or that was large enough to hold the diamonds, but we just didn't put any in. And then this has 3, and this also has 3. Huh. Oh, I see. The solutions are... Okay. I'm a little embarrassed that I didn't notice when we stepped from here to here that the diamonds didn't move. I was just like, oh, it's a different puzzle. We're already... Okay. So I'm assuming that if I move these such that they're solved here, yeah, okay, it does unlight the other button. So we have to find a solution that's going to work. So that is... This big dark area over here is separated from the dark area in the middle in this other puzzle. But if I did something like this... Yeah, now there's 2 here, and that's... So this needs to end up... Yes, that's the solution that works for both of those. But yeah, I knew it was not going to be good here. So how do I fix that? Okay, moving this to here will pair these 2 in all 3 puzzles. This space is a bad space to use in this puzzle. So is there a way to pair these two in this puzzle that will keep them paired in the others? I don't think so. I think it's going to end up being the case that different sets of diamonds have to be paired in the different puzzles, which is considerably more complicated. Unless I could... Nope, these two spaces are not paired across all three puzzles. Okay, so then... This is pretty bad, I think. Okay. Those two spaces are paired across all three puzzles. That gets that dealt with. These two are not. These two are not. The solution's still good here. And it's good here too. This one's a real problem. This particular arrangement is a real problem. Oh, look at that. They try to stay away from the cursor. Oh, maybe I was wrong. No, it's definitely running through the cursor now. I mean, it seems like I can guide them to some extent. Mostly what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to push it toward our player character. Yeah, it doesn't seem to want to... Alright. Never mind. Not important. Probably. Probably. Hard to say. So... In this puzzle... Alright. So in this puzzle, there is no space in the 5-space thing up here that is actually 2 spaces in the same shape. So we can't match diamonds up here. Yeah, this is a shame. Literally none of the spaces will work in all 3 puzzles, so we are going to have to set this up such that the diamonds are not pairing with the same things in each puzzle, which is actually hugely problematic. That is going to make this really difficult. Okay, so in this puzzle, these two are not matched, but but they're in different spaces. So we can move one of these somewhere else. Yeah. And then we want to put this somewhere where it will match with that one. We have to move something else. Like this? Okay, so this has a match. I think this space in the corner is a bad idea. So what we need is one of these. Yeah, one of these 3 has to end up matched with this one somewhere else. But where? This actually is very difficult for me to do. You know what might help is, let me take some screenshots here. If I were to overlay these on top of each other, I don't know. Is that actually going to be useful? Let's go. Let's go see if the other areas. That one might bear a little bit of working off camera. This is going to involve some methodologies. So this is 10 spaces right here. And then this is 6 spaces. And so this is looking for 4 lights. Yeah, that makes sense. Area is broken up into 4 things. Yep, same deal. These are going to be a challenge for sure. I'm taking a lot of screenshots right now. We are going to figure this out. Let me unlock all of them and take all of the screenshots so that I can attempt some stuff. Okay, this... Well, this right here needs to be the 2. This can be anything that has 2 purple petals in it. I guess it has to be this, actually. Because otherwise there's no place for that to go, right? And like this could be... No, wait, sorry. It needs to be... Yeah, one of the other lit spaces. This could be just about anywhere. And this has to go here. Wait, is that not... Oh, no, sorry. I did this... Right, I did this backwards again. It has to be like here. No, it has to be on a lit space. Has to be on a dark space where 3 of the other spaces around it are dark. And one of them definitely isn't. Yeah. Brain catching up slowly. You know, this one might be the easiest one to try to nail on camera because there's going to be fewer... the shapes don't combine in as many ways. Oh, this one will maybe not be too bad either. Let's go back to the petals. Try to work the petals here. I think the numbers one is going to be a nightmare. Okay, so there's only so many places on these puzzles that these things work. In particular, this thing I think is going to be fairly easy to set in most of these. Does that work in every puzzle? Okay, I feel pretty confident that one's right. Then this has to be on a space where none of the adjacencies are correct. It could be an edge space though. It can be a sort of a cheaty. Where are the spaces where this works? Here. And yep, that does work in all 3 puzzles. Okay. Then this has to be on a space where exactly 3 of my neighbors are the same color as me. So this could be an edge as long as it's, you know, it could be here if that was light. But since there are no spaces like that on this puzzle, it works here and like nowhere else actually. And it's functional in that position in all 3. All right, easy enough. Now these two have a larger number of places they could go. This one actually, on this puzzle in particular, this one has a very large number of possibilities. I mean, we can just do a guess and check. Okay, so that doesn't work. Exactly 1 neighbor. This. Nope. This tile. That's also a no. This tile? Nope. Here and here, the two dark spaces. So that one works in this puzzle. And it also works in this puzzle. Okay, easy. And then 2 adjacent spaces that are correct. Yeah, okay. Yep, perfectly normal. Exactly what we were expecting. That one was by far the easiest of them, I think. Remember, whatever's going on here, we know it's not actually an ending. They are trying to trick us. All right, let's just like do some real easy ones here. So these do have to be different from each other, though. I guess the use of this shape would still be possible because we could just put it on we could put the slash in a different square in the shape, right? This is definitely tricky though. So this is a shape that is rotationally sound. If we just put these in the same position relative to the middle point. And then like we could do the same thing with this shape. Or this shape for that matter. So how bad is this? It extremely doesn't work for the white ones. It works okay for the yellow ones. But that's it. There's nowhere in this shape that we can move those two blue ones where they will still work. So that's off the table. What if we did like this? Does that shape have... Nope, pretty bad. Okay. Yeah, the yellow ones are relatively happy here. If we move the white ones over or up, they would both be wrong still. So there are these shapes, right? This and this that are obviously things we're supposed to match, and then like this and this. So let me... Is that yellow position good in the other puzzle as well? It is. Okay, so those yellows are solid. So it's easy enough for this blue to be in... There's a sort of like tetromino shape here that is close to both of them. Although I guess it's worth noting that those are not the same tetromino. Ah, but this one and that one are. Right? Yeah, and rotationally that works for this shape as well. And it does not work for... God damn it. It doesn't work for these ones, though. That's really frustrating. That's a huge disappointment. What if we step it over one? That does maintain symmetry here. And now it's put them in single boxes. Okay. So blue and yellow are correct then. The white ones... Oh, the white ones aren't actually... There we go. Now the white ones are at least in the same space in their shape. And that works. And yeah, that works. Okay, those ones had a much smaller... Those two types of puzzles had just a much, much smaller number of overall possibilities. That was like... It's considerably more straightforward. This one feels like it's going to be really rough. There's so many ways to group those diamonds. Let's take a quick look at the numbers, see how bad that is, but I think we're probably just going to be wrapping here. And then I'll take these to work on off camera a little bit. All right, so let's say we did like, here's a 9. This is 4. This is also a 9. And then I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess these are both 9s. No, hold on. 3, 6, 9. Yeah, so 2 and a 7 and then a 3 and a 6. Yeah. 3, 3, 3. Okay. But that's going to break down real bad here. I mean, I like that part. So 3, 4. If we move the 4 to here, that's all right. This is 7, which is fine. Where's this? There's a 6 over here. Yeah, actually, the way the numbers work out, there aren't that many possibilities on this one. So this is the 8. You can move the 8 down here and that would work. And then this is the 5 and the 1 together. Yeah, that's an arrangement that's functional for that puzzle. Okay, but this is not good. So this is a 6. here, maybe? Yeah. Then this one is 2, 5. Okay, so this is 8, so we want this thing to be in there. Which, okay, doesn't disturb anything on this side. The one needs to not be in there, though. What is this? 3, 6, 10, 12. And then this is a 2. We can just move the 2 to the corner here, and that cleans up just fine. This is 3, 6, 8. So this is, we want the 5 and the 3 here, or I guess, or the, no, this is a 7. Yeah, we want the 5 and the 3 here, and then the 7 and the 4 in here, right? 7, 4, and 4. Hold on. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, okay, we do need the 1 to get out of this shape. But I want it in that shape and in that shape. All right. So 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, 7, 4, 1 is correct for that. That keeps it in all of the relevant shapes in that puzzle. I think this is an actual answer. Okay. The other 3 branches were all very doable. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe this is supposed to... Maybe this is easier than I'm making it, because, like, the other ones were much easier than this feels like it is. All right. So here, there are only 4 shapes. Here, the number of shapes that are able to hold a pair is 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And things don't break down cleanly over the numbers of shapes. Yeah, the place where this gets complicated is that you can't pair the shapes the same way the whole time. Because this puzzle's a fucking nightmare. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different places where 7 different shapes that are large enough to hold 2 diamonds. So maybe, is there a way to do this where I keep them paired the same way the whole time? And it would require these 2 to be in the same shape on the 3rd, which we know it isn't. So no, that would not in fact work. Okay, if we do that, it repairs them. Yes, that makes these 4 all functional in all 3 puzzles. So you 2 have to be in this area somewhere as things stand. But there's actually nowhere... No, that doesn't work. If we move these 2 to any 2 spaces in this other spiral, it's going to break things here. Yeah, in a way that we cannot do anything about. Okay, this one is going to require a little bit of being worked off camera. All right, so that's where we're going to call it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When y'all come back next time, tomorrow-ish, I'm going to have a solution for this puzzle, and it's going to maybe show us some kind of ending, but we know that there's definitely more yet to the game. There are other things that need to be done. So, we may get an ending, but we also have so much more business left ahead of us. And we'll see you then.